Bol.
All glories to Sambhu devotees. All glories to Sambhu devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. Welcome back to Srimad Bhagavatam study class. Reading from Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna. And today's verses 26, 27, and 28. We start with 26. Ahom.
Ahom.
Lam.
Lam.
Shlaghyatamam.
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 Kulam.
Kulam.
Aho.
Aho.
Alam.
Alam.
Punyadamam.
Innigamam.
Madho.
Madho.
Vanam.
Vanam.
Yad.
Yad.
Esha. Are you not hearing properly?
No.
Yeah.
Something problem. No, sometime
I can
hearing properly.
I can hear properly.
Rishabha.
Nishabha.
Shriya. Pati. Swajanmana.
Swajanmana.
Chankramanena.
Chankramanena.
Cha.
Cha.
Anchadi.
Anchadi.
Alam Shlaghyatamam Yadokulam.
Aho alam
kulam.
Alam Punyatamam Madhorvanam.
Aho alam punyatam
Madhorvanam.
Rishabhashriyapadi.
Yadesha pumsam rishabhashriyapadi.
Sujanmana Chankramanena Chanchadi.
Sujanmana Chankramanena Chanchadi.
Alam Shlaghyatamam Yadokulam.
Aho alam shlakyatamam yadokulam.
Ho alam Punyatamam Madhorvanam.
Aho alam punyatamam madhorvanam.
Yadesha Pumsar Rishyapadi.
Yadesha pumsam rishabhashriyapadi.
Sujanmana Chankramanena Chanchadi.
Sujanmana Chankramanena Chanchadi.
Aho alam Shlaghyatamam Yadokulam.
Aho alam shlakyatamam yadokulam.
Alam Punyatamam Madhorvanam.
Aho alam punyatamam madhorvanam.
Desha Pumsar Rishabhashriyapadi.
Yadesha pumsam rishabhashriyapadi.
Janmana Chankramanena Chanchadi.
Swajanmana Chankramanena Chanchadi.
Krishna Sharjamaji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Aho alam shlagyatamam yado kulam. Aho alam punyatamam madhorvanam. Yadesha pumsam rishabhashriyapadi. Swajanmana Chankramanena Chanchadi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aho alam shlakyatamam yadokulam. Aho alam punyatamam madhorvanam. Yadesha pumsam rishabhashriyapadi. Sojanmana chankramanena chanjadi. Hare Krishna.
Melinda Maji.
Hare Krishna. Aho alam shlagyatamam yadhokulam. Aho alam punyatamam madhorvanam. Yad esha pumsam rishabhar shriyapati. Swajanmana chankramanena chanchati. Hare Krishna.
Can read.
Aho, O alam, verily, shlaghya, tamam, supremely glorified, Yadho, of King Yadu, Kulam, dynasty, Aho, O, Alam, verily, Punyatamam, supremely virtuous, Madhovanam, the land of Mathura, Yat, because, Yeshaha, this, Pumsam, of all living beings, Rishabhaha, supreme leader, Shreyaha, of the goddess of fortune, Patihi, husband, Swajanmana, by his appearance, Chankramanena, by crawling, Cha Anchati, glories. Translation: Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Purport: by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits his body, and accepts another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but he becomes visible at a scheduled time and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in this universe like the sun and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all times and at every place, but by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, we take it for granted that he has taken his birth. Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and renunciation. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births and activities, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of the ordinary living being. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaja in the land of Mathura are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoy the company of the Lord in person as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtain something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 27. Aho,
Aho,
Aho
Vada,
Vada
Svar Yashas,
Swar Yashas,
Tiraskari,
Tiraskari,
Tiraskari
Ali,
Hari
Punya Yashaskari,
Punya
Yashaskari,
Yashaskari
Va,
Bhuva,
Va
Pashyandi,
Pashyanti
Nityam,
Nityam
Nityam,
Yat,
Yad,
Yad
Anugraheshidam,
Anugraheshitam
Anugraham,
Smita Avalokam,
Smita Avalokam
Avalakam,
Padim,
Swapadim
Padim,
Ma,
Sampati
Ma
Yat Praja,
यत्
यत्
प्रजा
अहोबदा स्वयशस्तिरस्करी
अहो बदा सौर्यशस्तिरस्करी
तिरस्करी
स्थली पुण्यशस्करी भुवाम्
उषस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी वा
विशन्ति नित्यं यदनुग्रहेषिदम्
पश्यन्ति नित्यम् अनुग्रहेषितम्
दावलोकं स्वपदिं स्म यत्प्रजा
पितावलोकं सुपदीं स्म यत् प्रजा
प्रजा
पदा स्वयशस्तिरस्करी
अहो बदा सौर्यशस्तिरस्करी
कुशस्थली पुण्यशस्करी भुवाम्
उषस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवा
पश्यन्ति नित्यं यत् अनुग्रहेषिदम्
पश्यन्ति नित्यम् यत् अनुग्रहेषितम्
यदावलोकं स्वपदिं स्म यत्प्रजाः
यदावलोकं सुपदीं स्म यत् प्रजा
ओपदा स्वयशस्तिरस्करी
अहो बदा सौर्यशस्तिरस्करी
स्थले पुण्यशस्करी भुवाम्
उषस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवा
नित्यं यदनुग्रहेषिदम्
पश्यन्ति नित्यम् यदनुग्रहेषितम्
लोकं स्वपदिं स्मयत् प्रजा
निदावलोकं सुपदीं स्म यत् प्रजा
शैलजा जी
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अहो बद सौर यशस्तिरस्करी कुशस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवा पश्यन्ति नित्यं यदनुग्रहेषिदं स्मितावलोकं स्वपदीं स्म यत् प्रजा। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। यस मनोहरी माँ जी।
कृष्ण अहो बदा स्वर्यतस्तिरस्करी कुशस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवः पश्यन्ति नित्यं यदनुग्रहेषिदं स्मितावलोकं सुपदीं स्म यत्प्रजाः। हरे कृष्ण।
मिलिंदा माँ जी।
हरे कृष्ण। अहो बता स्वर्यशस्तिरस्करी कुशस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवा पश्यन्ति नित्यं यद् अनुगृहीषतं स्मितावलोकं स्वपतिं स्म यत् प्रजाः। हरे कृष्ण।
स्निग्धा माँ जी।
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry for the late Prabhuji. Late joining. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. अहोबत स्वजस्य सस्तिरस्करी कुशस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवः पश्यन्ति नित्यं यदनुग्रहेषितं स्मितावलोकं स्वपतिं स्म यत्प्रजाः. May I read synonyms? Synonyms. Ahobat. How wonderful this is. Swa yasasah. The glories of the heavenly planets. Tiraskari. That which defeats. Kushastali. Dwaraka. Punya. Virtue. Yasaskari. Famous. Bhuvaha. The planet Earth. Pasyanti. See. Nityam. Constantly. Yat. That which. Anugraha ishitam. To bestow benediction. Smita avalokam. Glance with the favor of sweet smiling. Swapatim. Unto the soul of the living being Krishna. Sma used to Yazaha in the inhabitants of the place. Translation. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrated earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing the soul of all living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glanced at them and favored them with sweet smiles. Purport. By his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and Vayu, and the pious souls reach there after the performance of many virtuous acts on the earth. Modern scientists agree that The timing arrangement in higher planetary systems is different from that of the Earth. Thus, it is understood from the revealed scriptures that the duration of life there is 10,000 years by our calculation. 6 months on Earth is equal to 1 day on the heavenly planet. Facilities of enjoyment are also similarly enhanced, and the beauty of the inhabitants is legendary. Common men on the earth are very much fond of reaching the heavenly planets because they have heard that comforts of life are far greater than that on the earth. They are now trying to reach the moon by spacecraft. Considering all these, the heavenly planets are more celebrated than the earth, but the celebrity of earth has defeated that of the heavenly planets because of Dwarka, where Lord Sri Krishna resigned as king. Three places, namely Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, are most important than the famous planets within the universe. These places are perpetually sanctioned because whenever the Lord descends to earth, he displays his transcendental activities, particularly in these three places. They are perpetually the holy lands of the Lord, and the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy places. Even though the Lord is now out of their sight, the Lord is the soul of all living beings, and he desires always to have all the living beings in their Swarupa, in their constitutional position, to participate in transcendental life in his association. His attractive features and sweet smile go deep into the heart of everyone, and once it is so done, the living being is admitted into the kingdom of God, from which no one returns. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The heavenly planets may be very famous for offering better facilities of material enjoyment, but as we learn from Bhagavad Gita 9.20 and 21, one has to come back again to earth planet as soon as the acquired virtue is finished. Dwarka is certainly more important than the heavenly planets because whoever has been favored with the smiling glance of the Lord shall never come back again to this rotten earth, which is satisfied by the Lord Himself as a place of misery. Not only this earth, but also all the planets of the universes are place of misery, because in none of the planets within the universe is there eternal life, eternal bliss, and eternal knowledge. Any person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned three places, namely Dwarka, Mathura, and Vrindavan, because the devotional service in these three places is magnified. Those who go there to follow the principles in terms of instructions imparted in the revealed scriptures surely achieve the same result as obtained during the presence of the Lord Sri Krishna. His award and he himself are identical, and a pure devotee under the guidance of another experienced devotee can obtain all the results even at present. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 28. Nunam
Nyunam
Ada
Vridam
Na
Nanam
Uda
Huda
Adina
Adina
Shara
Vishwara
Samarchida
Samarchida
Hi
Ye
Asya
Asya
Grihita Panibhi
Grihita Pani
Pibandi
Pibanti
Ya
Ya
Sakhi
Sakhi
Adhara Amridam
Adhara Amritam
Moho
Moho
Striya
Rajastriya
Samumuhu
Samu
Yad
Ya
Ashayaha
Asaya
Nunam Vradasnana Hudadineshwara
Nyunam
Nyonam
Vratam Snanam Jadineshwaraha
Samarchido hi asya grihida panibhi
Samarchito Hyasya Grihita Panibhi
Vivandiyaha Sagi
Piva
Adharamritamuhu
Pivantiyaha Sakadharamritam Muhu
Sammumuhu Yadashaya
Vrajasyaha Sammuhu Yadastrayaha
Nunam Vradasnana Hudadineshwara
Namrtasranamrutadineshwara
Marchido Hyasya Grihida Panibhi
Pivantisarutapanihi
Vivandiyaha Sakyadharamridam Muhu
Pivantiyaha Sakshadharamritam Muhu
Yastriya Sammumuhu Yadashaya
Vrajasyaha Sammuhu Yadastrayaha
Nunam Vradasnana Hudadineshwara
Namrtasranarutadineshwara
Chido Hyasya Grihida Panibhi
Samarchitahya Gruhitapanihi
Vandiya Sakyadharamridam Muhu
Pivantiyaha Sakshadharamritam Muhu
Yasya Sammumuhu Yadashaya
Vajasya Sammuhu Yadastrayaha
Sarjamaji, Sarjamaji, you're mute. You're on mute.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nunam Vardasnana Hudadineshwara Samarchido Hasya Grihita Panibhi Pibandiya Sakhyam Dharamradam Muhur Buddhastriya Sammumuhur Yadashayah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Virindamaji,
Hare Krishna. Nunam vrata snana hota dineshwara samarchito hyasya grihata panibhi pibanti ya sakhya daramrita smuhur vrajasriya sammummuhur yad ashayah. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Snigdamaji,
Hare Krishna Prabhu Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Nyunang Vratam Sranang Hruta Dineshwara Samarjito Hyasa Gruhita Panibhi Pibanti Yaha Sakha Dhara Amritam Ruhu Vrajasriya Sammuhu Yadasrayaha Hare Krishna
Harimaji,
Krishna. न्यूनं मृदस्नानहुदादिनेश्वरः समार्जितो हि यस्य गृहीत पाणिभिः पिबन्दिया सखि अधरामृतं मुहुर्प्रजस्त्रिया सम्मुमुहुर्यदाशयः. Synonymous. Nyunam, certainly in the previous birth, Vrida, woe, Snana, bath, Huda, sacrifice in the fire, Adina, by all these, Ishvara, the personality of Godhead, Samarjitaha, perfectly worshipped, he certainly, Asya, his, Grihida Panibi, by the married wives, Pibandi, religious, Ya, those who, Sagi, or friend, Adaramridam, the nectar from his lips, Mohuhu, again and again, Brijastriyaha, the dancers of Brijabhumi, Sammumuhu, often fainted, Yadasayaha, expecting to be favored in that way. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Oh friends, just think of his wives, whose hands he has accepted, how they must have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Brajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. Purport. Religious rites prescribed in the scriptures are meant to purify the mundane qualities of the conditioned souls to enable them to be gradually promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. Attainment of this stage of pure spiritual life is the highest perfection, and this stage is called Swarubya, or the factual identity of the living being. Liberation means renovation of the stage of Swarupa. In that perfect stage of Swarupa, the living being is established in 5 phases of loving service, one of which is the stage of Madhurya Rasa, or the humor of conjugal love. The Lord is always perfect in himself, and thus he has no hankering for himself. He, however, becomes a master, a friend, a son, or a husband to fulfill the intense love of the devotee concerned. Herein, 2 classes of devotees of the Lord are mentioned in the stage of conjugal love. One is Swakiya and the other is Parakiya. Both of them are in conjugal love with the personality of Godhead Krishna. The queens at Dwarka were Swakiya, or duly married wives, but the damsels of Braja were young friends of the Lord while he was unmarried. The Lord stayed at the Vrindavana till the age of 16, and his friendly relations with the neighboring girls were in terms of Parakiya. These girls, as well as the queens, underwent severe penances by taking vows, bathing, and offering sacrifices in the fire as prescribed in the scriptures. The rites, as they are not an end in themselves, nor are fruitive action, culture of knowledge, or perfection in mystic powers ends in themselves. They are all means to attain to the highest stage of Swarupa, to render constitutional transcendental service to the Lord. Each and every living being has his individual position in one of the above mentioned 5 different kinds of reciprocating means with the Lord, and in one's pure spiritual form of Swarupa, the relation becomes manifest without mundane affinity. The kissing of the Lord, either by his wives or his young girlfriends who aspire to have the Lord as their fiancé, is not any mundane perverted quality. Had such things been mundane, a liberated soul like Sukadeva would not have taken the trouble to relish them, nor would Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been inclined to participate in those subjects after renouncing worldly life. The stage is earned after many lives of penance. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupagata Mahyam Dadadi Swapadandriyam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapatagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Advaitam Avadhutam Krishna Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishagan Vidamsa Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashabhanavi Devi Daityaya Kripade Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namam Madhuryojala Premadhya Rubhanugavarayate Gauravi Bhabu Gauragana Shakti Vigrahaya Namastude Namaste Gauravani Srimurte Dinadarine Ubanuga Viridava Siddhanta Dwandaharine Namo Gauragishoraya Sachal Vairagya Murte Vipralambara Sambode Padambujaye Te Namaha Nama Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Surubaya Ubanuga Varayade गौराविर्भवमेस्तं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णव सार्वभौमौ श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः Shrirupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha, Shrijiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha, Echai Goshai Koricharan Bandhan Jahamote Vignanash Abhishta Puran, Vancha Kalpadruvascha Kripa Sindhuvi Evacha, Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattushe Namah Panchatattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Surupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktigam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Jayadam Sirdo Pangor Mama Mandamade Gadi Mat Sarvasvadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadrimadam Shrimad Nagara Simhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshthalivi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasaram Vivam Shivadattadastidaham Kashan Venusuner Gopi Govinada Shretunam Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Aho balam shagyatamam yadokulam Aho alam punyadavam madhorvanam Yadesha pumsar shabashriyapadi Sujanmana chankramanena chanchati. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of the living, all living entities, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Hare Krishna. So, the glorification of the Kaurava ladies continue. We have seen how very nicely, how great knowledge and with great devotion they're worshipping Krishna. Previously, the Brahmanas were worshipping Krishna with the Vedic hymns. But it is said that the glorification of Kaurava Mataji's studies were much more elevated and more, sweeter and pleasant to ears than the glorification of Brahmanas. Not only sweeter, is also knowledgeable also. Sometimes it is said that the opponents of bhakti or the so-called neutral persons, like Ramakrishna also, they said that yes, bhakti is sweet, but the knowledge is provided by other group Advaitins only. But they also said, okay, this is not agreed by Vaishnavas, because Vaishnava have very correctly assessed the position that knowledge means knowledge pertaining to Krishna only. That is highest knowledge. You have to have precise knowledge of Krishna, and Krishna is ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the highest truth. So, from that stems the worship of Krishna, which is very sweet. So, the Vaishnava philosophy as well as Vaishnava worship, both are sweet. So, we can say that the Kaurava ladies, their knowledge, Krishna's knowledge is very high, as well as their worship, the mode of worship, how sweetly they are talking about Krishna. Then start with the creation. In verse from 21 onwards, they start with creation. And then they say that, after that, verse 25, how demonic nature people like Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, etc. In verse number 24, I'm sorry, yeah. So only creates, maintains. Whereas for kings and ministers like animal living like animals in lowest mode of existence, Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power, truth, positive, shows special mercy to faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different breeds and ages. So Krishna's forms are specifically mentioned here. It is like a Vaidhurya stone. Krishna is Ega, he is one, but he can be many also. And each of these forms are as potential and as powerful as the original form also. So Krishna appears by schedule in the 28th millennium of Vaivasata Manu. That's the 7th Manu. The 28th Manu, Dwapara Yuga of the 28th millennium of Vaivasata. That we have studied in Srimad Bhagavatam is a 9th canto, and Bhagavad Gita 4.7. Srila Prabhupada quotes, and he mentions that is during one day of Brahma. You know, there are 14 Manus in one day of Manu, in one day of Brahma, which is lasting for 432 crores of years. And there are 14 Manus. So 14 Manus, they have time span of 72 Chaturyugas, or we can say 32 crores of years, around 31 crores of years. And in the 7th Manu is, we know the Vaivasata Manu. We are in this 7th Manu, Vaivasata Manu's era. And he comes in the 28th millennium of this Manu. So Yuga means actually in every Chaturyuga, or you can say Kalpa of Krishna, Kalpa of Brahma. And so many pastimes Krishna played, killing of demons, like starting from Pudana, Aghasura, Shadagasura, Karya, etc. And finally killing his own uncle Kamsa. Then so many pastimes in Vrindavan, so many pastimes in Dwaraka also. And then he concludes, Shukadeva Goswami concludes in this verse 26, Aho Alam. Aho means surprise. Aho, surprise. Alam means disbelief. Can it be so? So both are extreme expressions. Aho Alam. He said that is Shlakyadamam Yadokulam. So both the dynasty in which Krishna appeared and the place in which Krishna appeared, both are praiseworthy. Mathura Mathura actually means Madhura Mandala actually. Mathura, not only Mathura Mandala, 84 square kilometers, which includes the sweet Vrindavan. So Mathura Mandala.
Yes, Prabhuji, while going Govardhan Parikrama, Mathura Mandal comes.
Yeah, the whole Mathura Mandala is a Mathura. That's even so many forests on Mathura side also, as well as the Vrindavan. So
Yes.
Mathura, when you say simply Mathura, means then that is the place where Krishna took his birth, isn't it?
Yes.
But when you say Mathura Mandala, it covers everything. That is given by H.G.Satyavrta. Mathura Mandala is specifically mentioned as Mathura Mandala. So Mathura Mandala, Krishna, since he has taken birth in Mathura, it becomes very pure. And nectar of in nectar of instruction, I think verse number 10. Gradation is there. For all the places, the best is Mathura. Better than Mathura is Vrindavan. Better than Vrindavan is Govardhana. Better than Govardhana is Radhakund. Like that. Verse number 10 or 11. Not 11, 10. So, wherever Krishna is there, that place becomes very praiseworthy. And then it also becomes very pure also. That is most important. Aho is a great astonishment because by his birth, by his walking in space and other astonishing activities, cha, the word is cha is used, chan chati. So his birth as well as activities are so glorious. So one who knows in depth, who has a correct and precise knowledge about his birth, which is divine, and activities which are divine, then he will not come back again. Which is a verse? Which is a verse?
Yes, it is Prabhuji Tetang Bhuktva Swarga Lokang Vishal Khene Punya Martya Lokang Vishanti.
That is a Swarga, yes, that is but Swargaloka. One who knows the divine birth and activities of Krishna, once he quits his body, he will not come back.
Janma Kanma Chame Divyam Joveti Tattva.
Evam Yoti Tattva.
Yes.
That is it. And this another expression I said that alam is disbelief. So how can this birth and activities be eternal? If there is action or a part of action, there should be a begin and end, isn't it? Normally we know that any action has a starting point and a end point also. That we all know, especially in the mundane world, it's like that. Without beginning and end, there is a deficiency in the nature of action. But Krishna's case is not like that. He has got unlimited forms and all the times he has unlimited manifestations. So he manifests in many places, sometimes simultaneously also. Like he, suppose he finishes his pastime in the earth planet now. Immediately it is finished, almost it is being finished, it will go to another planet. So this Leela of birth and activities are eternal in that sense. It is never ending. Srila Prabhupada gives example of sun. Sun is in horizon we see. And sun when sets in the western horizon, we feel that the sun is gone. But it's not like that, we know. Same way, Krishna appears in the earth and then disappears in the earth, means that he has not actually disappeared. He has gone to some other universe where he exhibits his manifests his pastimes, divine birth and divine activities. So, though there is a beginning and end, it may appear, but in everywhere and in each case is unending. And simultaneously also, sometimes his activities can be perceived simultaneously. Like Narada had a great experience of going to Dwaraka, where Krishna had married 16,108 wives. And Devarshi Narada, he wanted to see Krishna, how he manages 16,108 wives. It is Impossible. Even though even a very highly person who is blessed with so much of what he calls gunas, mystic abilities, H.G.Satyavrta, even for that person also, it will be very difficult to maintain 16,108 wives. But the surprise of Narada, first he goes to the palace of Rukmini. He sees Krishna in action there, and playing Veena, Rukmini playing Veena, something like that, and Krishna listening to it. Then he goes immediately Satyabhama's house. There he finds Krishna again and engaged in some other activities, playing some games with Satyabhama. And then he goes to another Jambavati. Like that, he goes to 100,000, all the 16,180, everywhere he sees Krishna. So simultaneously, he's there also. So in that case, Krishna's case, both birth as well as activity is also one. Vishnu Chakra is both activities and birth is also one. He supports his statement by quoting from Shankara's Sharirika. So he's taking from Shankaracharya's Sharirika Bhashya. Actually, the Vaishnavas, they criticize this the Sharirika Bhashya of Vedanta Sutra of Shankaracharya. But in this instance, Vishnu Chakravarti is quoting Sharirika Bhashya. He says, Divirgo Shabdo Yam Uchado Natu Dwa Go Shabdo Idi Preti Miridam Shab egatvam tadaiva dipradakrito nenatu do paka. That is, when one says dvirgo, dvirgo, D-V-I-R-G-O, dvirgo, one does not perceive two different words. Dvi actually means two. But sometimes when you say dvirgo, you will not perceive the two different words, but one word only. Similarly, we do conceive dvipradapada as one, not two words. Like that, dvi here, verb as well as activity, is accepted as one here by Vishnu Chakravarti. Which is to say that these both are eternal. It's one way of definition, you can say one definition of eternal is that you cannot separate both. To be eternal, the birth has to be eternal, isn't it? And unending, without beginning and without end. And activities also have to be without beginning and without end. You getting it? So if both are to be without beginning and without ending, both have to be together, accepted as one. I hope you're getting this. It's a very important point.
No, Prabhuji, I could not
Prabhuji.
get it.
Yeah, same here, Prabhuji.
Sorry.
You're not getting it. So you
No.
should ask. See, when you say birth and activities, you take it as, we take it as two words, isn't it?
Yes.
Birth, then after that activities, isn't it? Normally we accept like that. But Vishnu Chakravarti says both are accepted as one only, not two. Because if birth has to be continuous, then there should not be end to birth. While in this planet also. And same way, activities also, there should not be a beginning and there should not be end. So, the only way we can understand is both are clubbed together. Otherwise, you will say that after birth ends, then the activities start. So that means if you say that birth is there, then birth ends. That means birth is not eternal. And we say the activities started after birth, then activities also cannot be turned as eternal. Now, this already said that Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Divyam means divine. Divine means eternal, isn't it?
Hmm.
You understand this? So
Yes.
we all this time you were just thinking, oh, divine, nice says divine. We have divine has to be eternal. Then see how deeply our acharyas are analyzing this. If it has to be eternal means then there should not be a stoppage of both birth as well as activities. So both birth as well as activities are continuous.
Yes, Prabhuji, but for common people, birth and activity too are different. For common, us common people.
People here, like us, we have this. Ours is not divine, neither eternal. So we have a beginning, and then we have an end, and then afterward we have another form.
Yes.
But
Krishna's-
Prabhuji, I have one question. Aren't
Yes.
we also eternal, Prabhuji? I'm not saying from the bodily part, but as a soul also we are eternal, right?
That is there, but as a eternal form, now we are in the material body, in this material world. Now we are here only. We are not there.
Mm-hmm.
The eternal, the soul, although eternal, is now trapped in a material body.
Mm-hmm.
He has a birth when he accepts a body, and he has a death when he leaves his body. Then again, he has a rebirth when he accepts a different body, and then again, he has a death after he leaves that body.
Mm-hmm.
So the birth and death can be accepted when the eternal soul in the material world accepts a birth, accepts a body, it is birth. When he leaves that body, it is death.
Mm-hmm.
And during that life, after birth, he has some activities also.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that activities, he's getting another body. So for us, the conditioned souls who are in this material world, we have a birth and we have a death. And so both our birth as well as our activities are not divine or eternal, unlike Krishna, although he is now in the world, in this material world.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Friends, birth and activities of Krishna and ordinary beings like us. And one who understands the activities of Krishna are divine, then he is also not affected by the activities, like Maharaja has yesterday mentioned 4.14. Namam karmani lipyante name karma bhalai spruha diyoma vijanandi. So that verse is also there. Same way, one who understands the divine nature of the birth and nature, actually Krishna, he is also liberated. So in H.G.Satyavrta also says that in Brihat Aranya Upanishad also it is mentioned Yad Bhudam Bhavishcha Yad Bhudam Bhavascha Bhavishyacha Yad Bhudam Bhavascha Bhavishyacha, which means the Lord was present in the past, Bhudam, present, is present now, Bhava, and will be present in future, Bhavishya. So this means even though Lord disappears, he is still recommended as the best object of worship. We know Krishna has disappeared from our vision in this material world, but still we worship Krishna. Because we understand that Krishna's disappearance or so-called appearance and disappearance or manifestations are eternal and not temporary.
But Prabhuji, I have one question again on the birth. We say that he is the unborn. Then why are we using the word birth here?
Now, for our understanding, actually in this case it's appearance only. But since he appears as being born from Devaki, is classified. This appearance is classified as birth.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, good question. Because in Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami makes a statement: the Lord makes an appearance in the likeness of material birth or somewhat similar. He makes appearance of a material birth or somewhat similar. But that doesn't mean that his appearance is a material birth. Some say that the pastimes as well as the devotees and dhamas are called eternal simply because there are many manifestations of his birth and activities in infinite eternal dhamas in material world. So Vrindavan is accepted as one of dhamas, eternal dhamas. We have so many times Srila Prabhupada mentions that Vrindavan is not a material place. It is a eternal dham of Krishna only. Every time Krishna comes, it is in Vrindavan only. So Vrindavan is like a, what do you call it, a replica of this
Vaikuntha Loka.
here.
Good.
What do you call Bhu Goloka. This Vrindavan is called Bhu Goloka. Other one is Golok Vrindavan. So in the next verse, expansion of Dwaraka is given. Aho Pada Swarishascha Turaskari Kushastali Punyashaskari Bhuva Pashyanti Nityam Yat Anugraheshidam Smitavalogam Swapadim Sma Yat Praja. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwaraka has defeated the glories of heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of earth. So there is in Srimad Bhagavatam, verse number, in Canto 10, verse chapter number 69, 10.69, verses 1 to 6. A description of Dwaraka city is given. Just read out. Shukadeva Goswami said, hearing that Lord Krishna had killed Narakasura and had alone married many brides, Narada Muni decided to see Lord in this situation. He thought, it is quite amazing that in a single body, Lord Krishna simultaneously married 16,000 women, each in a separate palace. Thus, the sage of demigods eagerly went to Dwaraka. Now, the description of Dwaraka is given now. The city was filled with the sounds of birds and bees flying about the parks and pleasure gardens, while its lakes crowded with blooming Indivara, Amboja, Kahlara, Kumuda, Utpala lotuses, resounded with the calls of swans and cranes. Dwaraka boasted 900,000 royal palaces, all constructed with crystal and silver and splendorously decorated with huge emeralds. Inside these palaces, the furnishings were bedecked with gold and jewels. Traffic moved along with a well laid out system of boulevards, roads, intersections, and marketplaces, and many assembly houses and temple of demigods graced the charming city. The roads, courtyards, commercial streets, and residential patios were all sprinkled with water and shaded from sun's heat by banners waving from flagpoles. So, such a great discussion. See how, opulent. So, 900,000 palaces, so many lakes filled with so many flowers and so many birds and cuckoos, cranes, and then so many facilities, junctions, marketplaces, you can say gardens. So everything is a full. So it defeats the opulence of the heavenly planets of demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, etc. So it's much more opulent. So Dwaraka is much more opulent. Why Dwaraka is much more opulent? There is one reason, another important reason for that also. That is given in the verse also. But let's see that in Srila Prabhupada's purport, they said the common man are very much fond of reaching the heavenly planets because they heard that comforts of life are far greater. So the description of the heavenly life is given in this paragraph. But the celebrity of earth has defeated the heavenly planets because the description of Dwaraka is already given. But because it is reigned by Lord Krishna, Krishna reigned as king there. So it is given Krishna is always smiling, his glances and favors him with sweet smiles. And because Krishna is there, it becomes much more sweeter, much more eternal, much more glorious than normal heavenly planets. And we all know how people go to heavenly planets by virtue of some yajnas, good karmas. They go there. But after their piety is exhausted, they come back. Verse number 9, 20 and 21 of 9th chapter, we understand this. But in case of Krishna, the Lord is the soul of all living beings. That is given in last verse of the Pumsa Rishabha. He is a soul, he is a universal soul, the soul of all living entities. And in this Saruba, in the constitutional procession, they participate in transcendental life in his association. So his attractive features, bodily features, the beauty, his smilings, everything go deep into heart of the devotees. And once the devotee is like that, admitted into the kingdom of God, from which no one returns. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, which is a verse. Yes?
Punarjanma na bhityate, Prabhuji.
No, from the kingdom of Krishna, nobody, once you go there, you don't return. Na tatra bhasere shurya, na shashanga, na
Okay.
chatva nivartande, tad dhama paramam mama. 15.6, 15.6, yes. Yad gatva nivartande, tad dhama paramam.
Tadhama paramam mama, yes.
That is what is given here. That is once admitted the kingdom of God, from which no one returns. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. So in that way, Dwaraka, any places where Krishna's pastimes are there, much superior to the mundane these places, which actually places of misery. Krishna says, Dukkale Mundi. Although you may sound that, okay, the Swaloga very opulent and so much comfort and sense gratification is possible there. Even then, that's a place of misery, because this cycle operates everywhere. And once this cycle operates, dukkha dosha, isn't it? Janma mrityu jara vyadi, dukkha doshanudarshanam. This is operating in all the material worlds. And so, Krishna says, is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. But where Krishna is residing, where the places, these are called Dhamma, and these Dhammas are eternal. So Krishna is about and is himself are identical, and a pure devotee with the guidance of another experienced devotee can obtain all the results even at present. So that's how the spirit of Dwaraka is established. Now, even more higher elevation is given in next verse, much more higher, verse 28. Shall we continue?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Nunam radasnana Hudadineshwara samarchido hi asya grihidapanibi pibandi yat shakti adhramridam muhur bhajastriya sammamuho yadashaya. So, friends, just think of his wives whose hands he has accepted, how they must have undergone wars, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe to constantly release now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Vrajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. So, some purification is necessary, not some purification. Shukadev Goswami, in the previous verse, is wondering how much purification, how much good work, pious work these Gopals would have done to be an associate of Krishna. 10th canto, 10th verse, 10th chapter is given. So many instances also, even this, in so many places, Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse. What's it? Canto. Itam sadam brahma sukhanubhutya dasim gadanam paradevadena maya ashidanam naradaragenam sakam vraju kridapunya punjam. Those who are engaged in self-realization, appreciating the Brahman effulgence of Lord, because jnanis, they for crores of years, they do worship for Brahman worship, which is effulgence of Lord. And those engaged in devotion service, accepting Supreme Personality as a master, normal devotees, as well as those who are under clutches of Maya, thinking that Lord as an ordinary person, cannot understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with Lord in friendship as coward boys. So this is the position of
What is the verse, Prabhuji? 10th canto?
10th canto, 10th, once again, 10th verse, I think, no, not, yeah, 12th chapter, 11th verse, 10.12.11. This, I think this, there are 5-6 verses is clubbed together, so 11, including 11. I think 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 or 5 verses are there. And this particular verse is 11 only, 10.12.11.
Okay.
This Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse in many places. Just to see the rarity of the Vrajavasis. So they are so rare, these Vrajavasis so rare. They are not normal, ordinary living entities like this, because they have done so much pious work. Pious work means actually worship of Krishna only. Through and worship of the spiritual master. So according to the degree of the worship that they have done in the previous lives, they are now placed in a very high two dhams of Krishna, one in Dwaraka and another in Braja. And they are in the mode of, in the rasa of Madhurya Bhava. And as we all know, we have so many discussed, we have so many 5 primary rasas, and each and every single living entity is either placed in the 12 rasas with Krishna. Only we don't know now in which rasa we are linked to Krishna. And we cannot pretend that also, that I am and with this rasa and all that. Maybe, but a spiritual master, if you have direct connection with Srila Prabhupada of you, then Prabhupada will know much before us in which rasa we are connected to Krishna. So the Madhurya Bhava itself, there are 2 shades, one in Dwaraka and one in Vrindavan. The Madhurya Bhava in Dwaraka is called Swakiya, while in Vrindavan is called Parakiya. Difference is that Swakiya means own, Parakiya means belong to someone else. So Swakiya means Krishna's wives are Krishna's own. To Dwaraka 16,108. So it is you can say a sort of official relationship. And his wives always relish the presence of Krishna, association with Krishna. Like we said, Adharamurdam, his word is used there. And they are always longing for that. But in case of Parakiya Bhava, which is there in Vrindavan only, the famous Kirtan is, Jai Jai Vrindavana, there it is called only
Jaya
Parakiya.
Radhe Jai. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan.
Yeah,
Sri
Vrindavan.
Govinda Gopinath. Vrindavan.
In that, there is a verse which is coming that there is a bhava prevailing in Vrindavan is Parakiya only.
Yes.
Only Vrindavan you get Parakiya bhava, where Krishna, the gopis are either unmarried girls or married to someone else. So that relationship become even more sweeter. And how it is sweet, the Kaurava ladies giving this verses. They say that compared to us, Dwaraka ladies, Dwaraka Mataji, so advanced, so pious, thousands and thousands of times. We are also very pious. We are not able to see Krishna. We are able to see personally Krishna now. So we have also done some good work. But much more than Dwaraka queens, they are wives of Krishna. But they are no way, they are inferior to Vrajali gopis. The Mathura queens, they enjoyed the person association of Krishna, Adhramardam. But the Praja ladies, even they think of this favor, they're fainting. So we can see the intensity. So he said that the rites, Krishna Srila Prabhupada says like these rites, these are what he called is sacrifices, fire sacrifices, vows, baths, etc. Are not an end in itself. No off-fruitive activities. Culture of knowledge or perfection, mystic powers ends in themselves. In case of in culture of knowledge or in case of mystic powers, it is an end itself. But in case of all these other activities, the end is not the attainment of fruitive results or attainment of some this kind of mystic power or elevation. It is attainment of Krishna only. Like in Vrindavan, we have this Kartika vows and Mataji, the Vrindavan gopis. They are undergoing the Vrata, Kartika Vrata, Lord praising Lord Kartyayani. Why they are praising Lord Kartyayani? Because they want Krishna as their husband.
To get Krishna is a husband.
Yes. So that is the difference. Always, Krishna is the end. Krishna is the goal. But even more higher, in case of in Kali Yuga, the process, the sadhana, as well as sadhya, the process as well as the goal is the same. What is that? The process as well as the end, they are both same. Sadhana, sadhya.
That is chanting.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We are not doing any other things. No other activities, no bathing, no perfect, no tapasya, no studies, nothing. Just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All process, and our goal is Krishna. So this is real Advaita. And thanks to, we turned him in because Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. So that is why he is Mahavadanya. Yes, he has freely distributed this without consideration of any qualities. He has distributed this. We should really understand the value. We should appreciate the value what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us. And our eternal gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, who has brought Chaitanya to us. Because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada only, we are fortunate to have this mantra. we are fortunate to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Charitamrita in their proper perspective. Otherwise, we suppose we are some other place or some organization, we would have heard Bhagavad Gita, we'd have been hearing some Bhagavatam also, sometimes even Chaitanya Charitamrita also, but not from the perfect source. Because we are this parampara, Gaudiya parampara, we are able to relish this. So we are eternally, that's why Janme Janme Purusai. So eternally we are indebted to Krishna, Srila Prabhupada. So if we are really want to, part of that parampara or Gaudiya parampara, that we should, one end of, or one of the objective of Diksha is to be officially a part of pulling of this parampara. Of course, Divyam Jnana and Diksha means getting transcendent knowledge and vanquishing these anarthas. This is the object of Diksha. But another thing is we can be a member or we can be a link in this great parampara. So how great honor is it is. Diksha means we are becoming a part of this parampara. So it should be our aspiration to get a Diksha as early as possible. Should at least think about it now. Manohari Mataji is already initiated. She is very senior devotee. Now Melinda Maji and Siddha Maji is also very senior. Melinda Maji is relatively, junior. But we should start seriously thinking of getting initiated, and getting initiated means getting initiated from Srila Prabhupada only. I'll be posting this. This issue is there raging in ISKCON now. This FDG. Are you aware of this, Melinda Maji? FDG, this one.
No,
No,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Female Diksha Guru, Vaishnavi Diksha Guru. This is very
No,
much
Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji.
What is this? What
so
is
many
this, Prabhuji?
people are in the web now. Hello, Hare Krishna. Snigdha Maji,
Yes,
Snigdha
Yes,
Maji,
Prabhuji. What?
yes.
rating, no, Prabhuji. You mean rating?
No.
Right.
Raging means something that is with the intensity, some debate, the intense debate is going on.
Okay.
Snigdha Maji, I didn't hear you properly.
Yes, Prabhuji. I don't know about the issue. What is actually the matter?
Actually, now ISKCON is considering to appoint senior Matajis, Vaishnava Matajis as Diksha Guru.
Okay.
There should be some qualifications or parameters they are giving. Maybe elders and devotees now, but they are going to fix that introduce this concept of Mataji's Diksha Guru. This is by International GBC, but Indian Bureau, they are very traditional. They say that no, it cannot be accepted. No parampara, even Srila Prabhupada teachings also, Madajis are not appointed as given the position of Diksha Guru. They are not given Brahmanical Diksha actually, one way. In classes, time of, in case when Srila Prabhupada went to Western countries, at that time, because there were few Brahmanic initiated devotees, he had to initiate Madajis also. So that is why there is a practical way of, according to time, place, and circumstances, some adjustments. But more in Indian tradition, in Vedic tradition, Madajis are supposed to be subservient to husband. She should render service to that's husband, and then in case of temple, do the cleaning job, do the cooking and flower garlands and all that. But they are not into this real
Brahmanical Diksha.
they are not giving Brahmin. You know, after Srila Prabhupada has not given Brahmanical Diksha to Madhajis later. But international GBC is very adamant. They said, okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Kiba Nyasi, Kiba Vipra, Kena Surahayam. Ye Krishna Tattva Veta Sa Guru Hayam. If one knows Krishna Tattva, science of Krishna, he or she is eligible to. So this debate is raging over. So what we are saying that why this has come up? Because you are not accepted Srila Prabhupada as a Disha Guru.
Yes.
Had you in 1977, as per the order of Srila Prabhupada, had you accepted Srila Prabhupada as a Disha Guru, this issue would never have come up.
Yes. And
So,
in Bhagavatam also, the ladies are like in a Sudra group. It is
yes.
clearly mentioned in
Yes.
Bhagavatam.
Basically, at the spiritual level, everyone is equal. And
Yes.
in the level, the biopsycho, this one, it is different from men. But some people say that, okay, when we are talking about this, we are talking about general one, but it is not the case of Vaishnavis. Vaishnavis are different, but it's not like that.
Yes.
Vaishnavis are into Krishna consciousness, that is right. But that doesn't mean that they are bio-psycho genetics, the body related things are changing, not change.
Yes.
So they have to accept their position, and their position is this only. But they're happy with that. If they're accepting this, because here everything is based on this women equality. Now everywhere women equality is same. So everybody want to be equal. If the one girl is not employed, so much pressure is on her now. Why you are not going to job? Why don't you do the job? You should do your job. Otherwise, you will not be now be independent. You will always depend on your husband. So many things are being said. And with the husband, men also want their wives to be employed because they want to enjoy more. So this material type of equality is now overspilling to the spiritual this one also. So they want the Disha Guru also to be Madhajis. But this thing would not have come up had you accepted Srila Prabhupada's the sole Disha Guru. This would have now come up. So I had held a conversation with Meta AI. Quite often do that in many subjects. I posted this one about this one that 10th canto of the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter 52. Sududusham Rubam Drishtuanasi is past and present tense. So there's a bit controversy on this. Some people say that Drishtuanasi is actually the vision that you had seen, he had seen. That meaning they are giving, which means they are talking about Virat form. But Drishtuanasi, if you accept it as present tense, which the form which you are seeing now, then now Krishna has reverted back to his Shyamasundara form. So that means the present form is Shyamasundara form only.
Yes.
So this is most rare. So which is more rare? Whether it's a Virat form or whether it's a person form is more rare. The Advaitins and all their supporters, they will say Virat form is more rare. But ultimately, if you look into the sequence also, then we can find that actually the verse is talking about the form you have seen, which is a human form. So there also we had a conversation with Meta. I posted that. Has anybody seen that? I think you will rarely go through this group. I think you
Yes,
know
yes.
the Mazi also never goes. Maybe you are too busy.
No, Prabhuji, sometimes I check, Prabhuji. I did see that Meta AI thing. But Prabhuji, how reliable that is?
No, it all depends on how you could put the questions. Sometimes they go on vague. If you see the Meta AI, he has made a mistake. I talked about Devastuti when Krishna was in Devagi's womb. this 10th chapter, 10th canto, 2nd chapter, there is Devastuti, it is also called Garbhastuti. And
Yes.
Devas. Here the Meta made a mistake that Krishna was then taken from the womb of Rohini and placed into a womb of Devaki. It's actually the other way around. And this actually they're talking, the Bhagavad is talking about Balrama only.
Balram only.
So Meta makes a mistake there. So you have to be careful with that. But ultimately, what Meta is, he takes so much information from so many sources with a split of second. He give you all this relevant, and this intelligence also. He knows what we are trying, and he sees the point we are making, and then he gives different various points, taking from so many webs, so many information gives you. That way, it's good, but we should know how to use this.
But maybe we should just specify Srila Prabhupada's sources only. Then maybe it won't take from other places.
Yeah, they'll be taken from other from the forms. But when you are pertaining to these things, then they will take from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and those sources. Like so many debates conversation I had regarding this Advaita also. Then he will give quotation from Shankaracharya also. That will be there.
Okay.
Okay, I'll post it separately to you both. This Dishtuanasi as well as the FDG have not posted so far. Today I'll post.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I also wanted to share one thing. Last Sunday, I was in ISKCON Bangalore. There was this Srila Prabhupada Ashraya program in which the local, over here we have a ISKCON center, and one Prabhuji invited me over there because I was already chanting 16 rounds. So I was asked to give an online test, which I gave. And then I went to ISKCON Bangalore temple and we took a formal vow as we'd be chanting 4 rounds regularly. I know I chant 16 rounds, but to start with, he said like you take a vow of 4 rounds per every day, and then later on, you can move to the next level after doing seva and and other things like I am already into doing seva for them, Prabhuji. Like I create presentations and all for them, and some any UX related work. So I do that for them, and I just and I go to the. I have to start going every Sunday to this center because there is one temple coming very near to my place, Prabhuji. It will come in maybe 2029. That's what they're saying.
Whose temple is that?
Sorry, it's ISKCON temple. ISKCON Bangalore. Yeah.
From Bangalore is from Mumbai.
ISKCON Bangalore, Prabhuji.
From Bangalore. Okay.
Yeah. So now in Whitefield, that is place where I'm staying. It's coming very near. Maybe I stay in Vartur, so it's actually maybe some 5 to 10 minutes drive from my place. It's going to come very, very close. And the center is also nearby, Prabhuji. So I was very happy to hear that that temple is going to come. So they're going to have the same deities what you have in Bangalore. ISKCON Bangalore, the same deities are going to be here. They already got Gaura, Nitya Gaura in this center. We had them, they had that ceremony, very elaborate ceremony they had on Sunday. So on Saturday, actually. So I went for that. So probably I just wanted to update you on that.
Yes. Good. You're making good progress. And yes, this Whitefield, I think it's quite close to you, and you can do render service also. You're very fortunate. We are associating with temples. And of course, Bangalore, all the temples are, well advanced. So many devotees are there.
Yeah.
And groom yourself very nicely.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
कृपा सिंधु भय बच पतितानंग पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।